Hey everybody, it's A15 Sports Podcast. Thursday night football tonight. Me and Jake gonna do our pick 'em for that game, and our pick 'em for the rest of Week 8. And we're gonna talk a little bit about the Dolphins, their matchup with Detroit this weekend, and the Packers matchup with the Bills in what looks like should be a total domination for the Buffalo Bills. So,
What up, everybody?
Jake's in a good mood tonight. The Bulls looked really good the other night.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best I've seen them play as a whole, even going back to last year. Besides when they had Lonzo, they played good every game, but moving the ball.
I thought
Scoring
Drummond looked
from
really well
everywhere.
too.
I think Drummond might be one of the best signings.
That we've made in a long time, as far as just like
the
a
whole
bench guy.
NBA. Like he might be one of the best signings that a team has made this year. Last year into this year. That's how good Drummond's been. He's almost averaging a double-double. 10 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. There's no
He's
question
not
about
that
it.
good with the ball, but man, he got the rebounds he gets, the offensive rebounds he gets, he defends. That's what we were missing last year because when Vooch went out, who was it last year again?
I think we had Tristan Thompson and Tony Bradley.
Yeah, that Drummond's on a different level than both of those. Even though Tristan Thompson had a couple good seasons, but
yeah, Drummond's always been better as far as just a rebounder and defender.
How good's Gordon Dragic been?
Yeah, I'm surprised by how good he's played.
That dude looks like he's 40, like 45. Yeah. He got gray hair, but man, he can shoot the ball. He gets in the lane. He distributes it. He knows when to go up with it.
Isles looked really well so far too.
Isles looked well. I would say that was Zach LaVine's best night or best game yesterday. He was 6 of 8 from 3. DeMar had, I guess to his standards, an off night, but he also had 6 assists. So if he scores on those assists, his point total is way up. So it's
and Vooch has been playing well.
Vooch has been down. The whole team, everybody's been playing well. I don't even know if I had to pick one who hasn't been playing well. Maybe Kobe White. I even was impressed with Patrick Williams last night.
Yeah,
but I still don't really care for Patrick Williams or Kobe White.
It's early.
They're too streaky.
Yeah, it's early. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. But anyways, we'll hop into our picks. So before we start that, Jake's got a record here for the past 2 weeks we've done them, and Jake is in the lead by 2 games. He went 9-5 last week. I went 7-7.
Yeah, that's a pretty good record for last week.
So Jake's 2 games ahead. I got to take over this week, so we'll see what happens. To start it off, actually tonight we got Baltimore and Tampa. A lot of things going on in Tampa. They're the talk of the news, just like Green Bay is, with 2 quarterbacks who have previously dominated the NFL, and it's just not the same this year. A lot of stuff's been said about Brady. I guess, he's missed a couple practices here and there. Obviously, he's got some stuff going on off the field with
personal issues.
Yeah, his family. I think most people know about that, his wife and him. But anyways, with all that being said, I just was watching NFL Live earlier today. Julio Jones is going tonight. Mark Andrews is playing. Bateman's playing. Gus Edwards is playing. Should be a good matchup. I got Baltimore tonight. Jake, who do you got?
I got the Bucks. They're favored by 1.5, so it's basically a pick 'em. They're 3-4 and they're winning their division. Isn't that something?
Yeah, I think Carolina. Who's is it the Saints?
Somebody else is no. Saints are 2-5. Because I remember looking at their record when they play Vegas. Who
Carolina?
Else? No,
New
Carolina.
Orleans?
Who?
Atlanta.
Atlanta's 3-4.
Yeah, they run the shit out of the ball.
I still think Tampa Bay's the favorite, right? Because those other teams. You really have who are you going to put your trust in or your money on?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose.
Yeah.
But I think Tampa Bay gets. I've watched Baltimore play a lot this year. And they just find ways to let other teams stay in games, right? We watched the whole Dolphins.
In every game so far this year, they've led by at least double digits.
Yeah, they just find. I don't know. They just implode, and Lamar Jackson looks like the MVP for 2 halves, and then all of a sudden he doesn't. And it's not just the game versus the Dolphins; it's every game they played in. They're balling, and then all of a sudden you look at the end of the game, and it's like, holy shit, they're going to lose again.
Yeah, and they almost lost. There was a controversial call in the
versus Cleveland
the past weekend.
Yeah, where they took that. I think it was it was a 60-yard field goal.
And then they called the false start, and
it made it a
It
65.
did not look like a false
It
start.
made it a 65-yard field goal. That's right.
Who knows what you got going on in the NFL? You got referees signing autographs after the game in the tunnel, which I guess is not. They're not actually supposed. The players aren't supposed to sign anything.
What if it?
I
don't know what to make of it.
Who knows?
What if it's for his kid or his grandkid,
Yeah.
or his buddy asked for it for his kid? Like, I don't know. Like, and
There's
it wasn't a quarterback, wasn't it? Mike Evans.
Yeah, it was Mike Evans.
So it's like,
but still, though, sometimes you watch, just some things that go on.
It shouldn't have happened. Or you know what that should have happened? He should have went to that ref and said, "Hey, can you meet me in this back room and sign this for me? Not right in the tunnel."
Everybody's got cameras everywhere, but I don't know. Just sometimes I think the NFL might be. I think there's a lot of favoritism that goes on in the NFL. Some shady stuff. I don't know about all the outcomes always being what you think they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna go into anything. Those refs will probably get reprimanded and told not to do it again. And
because I guess technically they're not, like, the players are not supposed to say anything for the refs. That's what I was.
I don't know that, but probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really see the big goddamn deal, but.
Yeah. All right, so on to our next one. We got
Tampa and Baltimore. We are split.
Baltimore and Denver.
Oh, this game's in London?
I'm sorry.
Oh, fudge.
Yeah, so I got Baltimore, Jake's got Tampa, but we're going here. We got Denver, Jacksonville, and London. I'm sure everybody saw the story about Russell Wilson doing exercises on the plane over to London. He's got something going on. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but you see the things in the sidelines.
What's their record? Are they 2 and 5?
They're 2-5. I got all the records right here. So 2-5 teams.
They have this is a must win for Denver if their season is.
And I heard if they don't win this game, their coach is going to be fired.
You got Jacksonville. So both teams are 2 and 5. So since they added a game, 9 and 7 sometimes gets you in. So if one of these teams goes to 2 and 6, they potentially can only lose like one more game the whole season, or they're probably like, this is a huge game for both of these teams. Even though both of these teams I don't see maybe making the playoffs. I mean,
Denver's definitely not winning their division.
If I had to choose one, I would pick the Jaguars because I think they're the better team. I've watched them play quite a bit. They're right there. They almost beat the Giants last week. But
as a Jacksonville fan, you got to be happy with at least the potential you've seen.
I don't think they're playing bad. They're just sometimes you can't find a way to win. The NFL's hard. They
were a yard short last week.
I don't care if you win by a field goal. Like, if you're down 2 and a field goal wins you by 1, it's hard to win in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these good teams, like, there's one team that's undefeated. I remember a couple years ago, like even last year, like we had multiple teams undefeated, like into like week 5 and 6. There's only one. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard to win.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jake's got Jacksonville. I've got Denver.
That's a 2.5 point spread. That's another close spread.
That game's only on ESPN Plus, so good luck being able to watch that.
Really?
Yeah, I seen it at the barbershop today.
Why?
ESPN Plus has got the rights to that game. Maybe it'll be on NFL Live too.
It's always the NFL channel. The London game's always. This was fucking stupid, dude. Now we got to find a way to. I ain't watching it.
I'll be sleeping.
Yeah, well, I'll probably be sleeping. It's 9:30 in the morning, and it's Halloween weekend. Yeah, we're not going to be watching that game. And plus, we want to watch those two teams.
All right.
Even though I like Trevor Lawrence, I think he's a good quarterback. So we're
different that game. We're actually split the
two.
First two games, and next. All right, so next we got Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta's been playing some pretty good football. Yeah, all they do is run the ball, so do not play Drake London at any cost. I did that last week and the week before that.
I might take back what I said. Atlanta could win this division.
They could.
Because I seen on Twitter they're like next 4 or 5 games, as well as the Dolphins. Like, they're teams that are very beatable. Like, Atlanta is 3-4, but they could easily be like
4-2.
No, but I'm saying like no, they're 3-4, but in the next 4 or 5 weeks they could end up being like 7-4.
And they should have beat Tampa, but that's another story.
So I got Atlanta.
Yeah, I also have Atlanta.
I think they're better. I think they're at home. That's another 4. I mean, a lot of these spreads are pretty close this week. That's only a 4-point spread.
One thing I'll say about that is I just saw today, PJ Walker used to play in that other football league. Was it the XFL or something?
The Canadian Football League?
No, the XFL, I think. that short one they had.
Oh, what's his name was the owner? The owner of Raw?
McMahon.
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
Yeah. So I got, and then what I was gonna say is PJ Walker beat out Baker Mayfield for the starting spot. So Baker's had a very low point in his career. Still love the guy.
He ain't playing, right?
No, he's not playing. I still got Atlanta in this game.
Yeah, I got Atlanta. It's just What's Carolina?
Carolina, they're both 2-5 and they're 3-4.
What's Carolina mean?
Well, they beat the Bucs last week and they beat the Saints.
It's 2 decent wins.
Yeah. So then we got Chicago at Dallas. I gotta admit, Chicago looked like a really good football team on Monday. They looked really good. I gotta give it to the Bears.
It's probably the best I've seen the Bears play. Maybe since their season that they went 12-4 with double doink.
Oh.
Right? I mean, they played fundamental football from quarter 1 to quarter 4 in every phase of the ball. I mean, they were getting returns that were putting them close to midfield. Like, that's what you ask for, like, to start at mid. I mean, if you start at mid, I think they started at midfield at least on 2 or 3 of their drives. Justin Fields looked good running it. He looked good throwing it. He still held on to the ball a couple times and took dumb sacks.
I think it was like 3rd and 17. He had one play where he escaped the pocket and got a first down. It was pretty impressive.
But I will say this isn't your dad's New England Patriots.
I know, but it's still a Bill Belichick led team.
Yeah, but I don't. How much longer are we gonna say that? Like, Tua Tagovailoa is 6-0 versus Bill Belichick.
I don't know. It's just the thing.
Like, is he that good of a coach anymore? Like, did Tom Brady? What do you think? Did Tom Brady make Bill Belichick?
I don't know. Look at Tom right now.
Yeah, but Tom went on and won a Super Bowl in Tampa.
Yeah,
and Bill hasn't done shit.
I mean,
since.
it's definitely helped
they made
them.
the playoffs last year, so, but they didn't know who was their quarterback.
I don't think they know, but they got Max starting this weekend.
This is not a good New England Patriot team, but it's a very good win for the Bears.
They look good.
It's a very good win for the Bears.
They dominated a team that looked bad. That's what you're supposed to do, and they did.
I think before the game, New England was favored by like 4 or 5. It might even been 6. It was a pretty big, heavy New England favorite.
Yeah, it was heavy.
And I tell you what, it wasn't looking good there when Zappy came in, and it was Zappy world for about
a Twitter was going nuts. Yeah.
But now they go to Dallas, and then they play Miami. You're gonna find out what the Bears are made of the next 2 weeks.
With that being said, I got Dallas.
It's a 9.5 point spread. I also have Dallas. I know that.
I think the Bears could cover though 9.5. I mean, that's Well,
people travel well to Dallas, so there will be a lot of orange in that stadium. I don't know why, but teams travel well to Dallas.
Dallas's defense.
It's a tropical place like Miami.
They get a lot of interceptions, and Justin Fields throws a decent amount of those. But either way, I got Dallas.
But Dallas didn't really. They beat
the Lions last weekend.
They didn't really kill them though.
Win's a win.
That's what I ultimately think Dallas wins. That 9.5 point spread. That you're gonna take the Bears to cover it?
Yeah.
I'll take Dallas to. Everyone says the Bears. I mean, even after this win, I mean, you go on Twitter and they trade Quinn.
Yeah, for a 4th round.
Everyone's like, well, the Bears aren't going to win this year. Well, they're sitting at 3-4.
Quinn had 1 sack this year.
But I don't understand these people. They're sitting at 3-4, and all these Chicago fans on Twitter.
The Packers
and Facebook,
are 3-4.
No, but they're basically just conceding the season at 3-4 when there's an extra wild card spot. Like, well, what do you concede? I don't understand what you're like. We're not going to win this year anyways. Well, you're 3-4.
Well, they're not going to win the Super Bowl if that's what. Well,
they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
There's a lot of teams that are just playing right now that aren't going to win the Super Bowl.
But you have it. You want to have a chance. You get in. You have a chance. I mean, stranger things have happened. Look at who won wild card.
Well,
the Giants
did it in 2010, 2011.
And the Giants did it when they were like 9-8 with Eli Manning.
The Bengals got all the way to the Super Bowl last year.
So, like, get in, have a chance, get hot.
Yeah.
But I got Dallas. I just think, I don't know, if the Bears do play like they did last week and they create turnovers and they're getting their offense to start around midfield, they will have a very good chance to win this game.
And I don't think Zeke plays.
No?
I don't think Zeke's playing this week. Hyperextended knee, which I don't think that's that big of a deal, really. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's looked really – I actually think he should be getting more touches than Zeke anyways. So I think that's beneficial for fantasy owners and Dallas in itself, really, because I think Pollard's the better back right now. So on to Miami, Detroit. I've got Miami. The Dolphins 4-0, and Tua is completely healthy and playing the entire game. I think Miami's got better playmakers than Detroit. They're a better team right now.
I tell you what,
I got Miami.
You can't tell me this ain't a trap game. I have the Dolphins. The reason I say it's a trap game is because it just feels like a trap game. They're only 3.5-point favorites, which I think is, I guess it's kind of fair. I could have seen it being like 5. But Detroit scores a lot of points. And what scares me is if they're going to score.
They haven't the last 2 weeks, though.
Well.
But you're right. The first 3 weeks,
the first couple, firing. Detroit was firing. So the Dolphins' defense is going to have to show up like it did last week. If it shows up how it did last week, I think the Dolphins could smoke Detroit by like 14 because I think they're that good. I think they get a turnover. They got 3 interceptions last week. Brandon Jones tore his ACL, though that sucks. He was having a great season. I don't know if Byron Jones is ever going to play again in the NFL because he can't figure out what's wrong with him. Who knows? They say he's week to week, but I haven't heard anything on him. So,
the Packers are having that problem with Bakhtiari. He plays and he's out.
He was put on the PUP list for the first 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. It's now week 8.
He hasn't played yet?
No. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even imagine having both of those guys on each side of the field. Who would you pick your poison?
Yeah.
But
I think Tyreek Hill has a huge game Sunday.
I think if Tua gets the ball out fast to Tyreek and Jalen, and he even hit Gesicki about 3 or 4 times last week. Gesicki dropped a wide open touchdown. I think his arm got hit a little bit before the throw. It could have been PI, but that's hard to see. So I'm not going to bitch about that too much, but it hit him right in the helmet. It was a good throw. It was right where it needed to be.
I've always thought Gesicki is a great player.
And I like how Raheem Monster's been playing. I don't even know if I said that name right, but he runs like a dog. And what I like is he runs north and south. He don't get caught at the line of scrimmage and run 5 yards back and then lose 2 yards. He runs north and south, and he's hard to bring down. It seems like he always gets 3 to 4 yards, a lot of times 5.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
So they got the weapons, and like Cole said, they're 4-0 with Tua. Tua's been playing well. So I think the Dolphins win.
I think Tyreek Hill has about 8 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown.
What I want to see is, I want to see Tyreek break one. We haven't seen that yet.
Just a
straight vert. Well, I guess I forgot. We forgot the Baltimore game where he was gone. But yards after catch, where he catches a 7-yard screen and he's gone, or he catches a 6-yard slant and he spins and he's gone. We haven't he gets 20 or 30 yards, but I've never we haven't seen Tyreek break one. I think that could happen.
Well, if you're complaining about Tyreek, you can ship him to Green Bay because we'll gladly take him.
I shouldn't be. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying. And also, aren't the Lions 32nd in pass defense?
They have the worst defense in the league.
Okay, I thought it was just pass, but
yeah, you're right. That definitely is bad. They're bad at defense.
So we both had Atlanta, Dallas, and Miami.
Yes.
Okay, so on to Minnesota.
On to Arizona and Minnesota now.
Now this is it's a 3.5-point spread. I guess that's right. That's kind of right. It was.
So last week, obviously Hopkins came back. They were force feeding him the ball. That's going to be a problem for Minnesota. And I think
you're not taking Arizona, are you? Is this biased?
This seems like a bad decision, but I'm going to be taking Arizona. Now, for my own case, I would like to see Arizona win because it helps the Packers if we have any shot in hell of making the playoffs going forward. Now, Minnesota is firing on all cylinders. But when I got a weird feeling that Arizona is going to go in there and get a win.
I mean, it's a team that definitely can because Kyler's done it, but they've gone and won on the road before. But I got Skull. I got Minnesota. I think they're a really good team. That place is bonkers. I mean, it's a dome, so
louder than it should be.
Any team playing in a dome, any fan base can be loud. But they start doing that goddamn Skull chant, and you can't even hear yourself think. Yeah, and they were doing it in Miami too. Yeah, fuckers. I got Minnesota. I just think they're too good. But I will say, Kirk Cousins hasn't had a Kirk Cousins moment yet.
Well, the Eagles on Monday Night Football. So he's had one. So he's
Yeah.
due for another one. And I think hopefully it's this week. I got
But
Arizona.
what do you think about Arizona's defense?
I mean, it's not great.
See, I just
They have some playmaker. I'm telling you, Hopkins second game
If
back.
it's a shootout, I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. So if it's a shootout, it's going to come down to which quarterback takes care of the ball the best. And I just have Minnesota because they're at home.
I got Arizona. I can see why you're doing that. I don't disagree with you, but I got Arizona. All right, we got Las Vegas at New Orleans. Devontae Adams battling the flu right now.
Is he not playing?
He's probably going to play, likely to play, but he is battling the flu. Josh Jacobs has been balling last 3 games, all over 100 yards rushing. If he's on your fantasy team, I bet you love it. I've got Vegas this week, and I think Vegas is going to win by a touchdown. And then New Orleans has still got Andy Dalton playing.
This is a 1 point. This is a 1 point spread, not even like 1.5. So this is literally a pick 'em. I just got New Orleans. I think they score a lot of points. I think they're at home. Ever since I can remember watching football, New Orleans has had one of the best home field advantages that I've seen over recent years. You know, obviously the Packers have had it, but New Orleans is another Kansas City. New Orleans is another, like Buffalo in the last couple of years, but Minnesota. New Orleans is another team that comes to mind that just plays good at home, finds a way to win. Like even in Seattle, like they find ways to win at home. I don't know. I like New Orleans. That dome can get loud. It's pretty crazy. But I don't know. I think this is the hardest game of the week to pick.
That was not the hardest game of the week to pick for me that I felt.
You don't think so?
That not for me. Not
Who
for
was
me.
it?
I had a really tough time picking between Arizona and Minnesota and the Giants in Seattle.
Okay.
And also Washington and Indy, because Indy's got Sam Ehlinger playing this week.
I just think this is the hardest one because both teams are 2-5, or 2-4 and 2. So Vegas has already had their bye then?
Yeah, Vegas already had a bye.
It's an early bye. Oh, byes just started, so they probably the first one. I got Saints.
Okay. New England and New York Jets. Obviously the Jets lost Breece Hall last week, torn ACL, out for the season. He was balling. New England could be a quarterback controversy there, but Mac's going this week.
So what do you think of this? They got New England at 3-4, right?
Yeah, New England
at 3-4, favored at Jets, who are 5-2.
I got the Jets.
They got the Patriots 2.5-point favorites. So is that because what's his name's out? Hall? I don't get that spread. Do you?
No, in New York's got a pretty good defense.
Is this like Bill Belichick treatment? Like, is he still?
I think it is. He's still getting favoritism. I got Robert Saleh and the New York Jets and Sauce Gardner.
But I also don't think. Okay, now I also don't think the Jets are as good as everyone says. I got the Jets to win this game and move to 6-2, which is a very good record. They're better than years past, but they beat the Dolphins with their third string quarterback at home, and they beat us,
the Packers.
Yeah, that's dismal. I don't even want to talk about that.
Well, we're kind of a bad team right now.
Who else did they beat with the backup quarterback? Was it Denver?
Well, they beat Cleveland on that.
But I will say the Jets did do this in Lambeau, and they did do it at Denver. But
Denver with their backup.
Going to Denver and winning, with the backup is a lot easier than going there and have to beat Russ Wilson. And also,
Denver's really depleted right now.
Also beating Skylar Thompson and the Miami Dolphins, which
I wouldn't say it's hugely impressive.
The Dolphins screwed that game. It was a close game all the way to the end almost until we missed that 52-yard field goal, which I wouldn't have done. I would have punted. But anyways, I guess what I'm getting at is I don't think the Jets are as good as the record shows. What do you think?
I agree.
I don't think they're like some people got them in the power rankings at 3 in the AFC. I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
I I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to play the New York Jets.
And I'm not saying this because they're in the division and they beat the Dolphins. I'm just saying this based off of I watched the Jets play the Dolphins the whole entire game. Like, we literally were a field goal away from taking lead in the fourth quarter with Skylar Thompson. Like, so, but they're a fundamental team. They don't really make that many mistakes, so they're good. I just don't think skill wise, I don't think they are there yet. But they don't have that hard of a schedule either. So the Jets could be a wild card this year. But we both got
both got
the
New York.
Jets. But that's another close game because
You never know.
I mean, New England.
And the Jets just traded for James Robinson, Illinois State alum.
Yeah, I got.
He's not bad. He's a good player. Yeah, I got the Jets. All right, so Pittsburgh at Philly. Philly just got Robert Quinn. I got Philly winning this game.
Battle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've got Philly. I think Pittsburgh's a bad football team right now.
You know, for like forever growing up, I didn't realize they were from the same state. I just didn't think that.
I never thought about it.
Because they're both literally they have two great fan bases. Like it's crazy because like, you know, Florida, Jacksonville's got about 20 fans, so like you don't really see. That's why I thought it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I got Philly. I mean, Philly's 10.5-point favorites. They're
6-0.
undefeated. I don't got much to say about this game. I watched Pittsburgh play. They weren't awful. I think the Dolphins screwed up a lot. They didn't take advantage of their red zone opportunities. They kicked 2 field goals. They didn't kick another one. They went for it when they should have kicked it. They were inside the 15 3 times and kicked 2 field goals and went for it on the other time. So that game could have been a lot. Credit to their defense, obviously. But Philly's too good, right?
I agree. Philly. Big weekend for Philly. You know, the World Series going on, too.
That starts Friday. This game's Sunday, so there'll be a Friday, Saturday. So the Phillies will be off on Sunday. They'll come home and play Monday. So that will be a, baseball Friday, baseball Saturday, football Sunday. But, yeah, it's going to be a big – is the Wi-Fi messing up?
Yeah, it's some Wi-Fi problems right now. Nothing I can do about it right now. We just got to keep going. Hopefully it loads. Tennessee, Houston. I've got Tennessee winning this game.
Yeah.
Houston's shown some things look promising so far this year, but Tennessee,
I could see this
they
game
played a really
being
good
close
game.
for a little bit, but I got Tennessee. They're 2.5-point favorites, which is kind of crazy. Has Houston won the game?
Yeah, Houston has 1 win and 1 tie, 4 losses. They tied against the
Colts. Yeah, I got Tennessee. I think Henry might feast this week, so ain't got much on this game either.
Yeah, I've got Tennessee. Washington and Indy. Indy's starting Sam Ehlinger this week. Matt Ryan got benched. He's turned the ball over.
Wait, Matt Ryan
got benched.
When?
Was it Monday, Tuesday? I don't know. He got benched this week.
Why didn't I see this? I'm all
it was
over,
all over Twitter.
I must not be all over Colts Twitter, I tell you.
Do you follow Pat McAfee?
I do.
Oh, he talked about it a few times.
Holy shit.
I don't know how you missed that.
Well, I don't know. I might change my pick.
Yeah, so we got I was really tempted to pick Washington.
Colts?
Yeah, I still got it's at home.
Well, I know, but
I think Sam Ehlinger is going to bring him something that Matt Ryan couldn't, and that's some mobility. I don't know what type of offense they're going to bring to the table this week. 3-1.
They really need this win if they're going to stay around.
I think Indy's going to pull this one out, but it's going to be a tight game, and I think it's going to be low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Washington can score, so I'll take Indy.
Next up, we got San Francisco and the Rams.
This could be one of the games of the week.
It is the 3:25 Fox game.
It could be a good game.
I've got San Francisco in this game. They just came off a loss. They're finally going to get McCaffrey really involved in that offense. Ayuk's been playing well. Obviously, Kansas City's really hard to stop, but San Francisco's got a good defense. And Matt Stafford's thrown 8 picks already this year. He's thrown 8 picks to 6 touchdowns, has not been impressive.
Well, the Rams in
all they
general
have is
haven't been
Cooper.
impressive.
Yeah, all they have is Cooper Kupp. I got the Niners.
I got Rams.
The Niners have won like.
I
the
feel
last 6
pretty
matchups.
confident because I feel like this is a game where they show why they're the defending Super Bowl champs at home. This is a lot of times when teams either start to show who they are or they go down. And you can see a lot of teams are 3-3, 3-4. Like you're gonna see a lot of teams who go to 3-5 who are kind of like season's almost over. You got to almost pretty much go on a winning streak. You can't lose one here, win one here. When you start out good, you can win one, lose one, win one, lose one because you started out good. So I think the Rams, this is where they get back on track. Who is winning that division? I got to disagree with
you on that.
Who's winning that division?
Probably the Rams. No, Seattle. So you got Seattle. Seattle's leading the division, and then you got
at what? Oh, at
4-3, and then you got the Rams, and then you got San Francisco and Arizona at 3-4.
So
I still don't think Seattle wins the division.
I don't either. Do you trust Geno Smith? Like
not going forward.
I got the Rams. I think this is their Super Bowl coming out. Like we've had a Super Bowl hangover. It's week 8. Like get our shit together.
Kyle Shanahan knows how to beat the Rams. They dominated them early on this year. Everybody watched that game. I think it was on Monday Night Football. I think it's going to happen again. I got the Niners. Giants, Seattle. I really wanted to pick Seattle in this game.
You took the Giants?
I was reading that.
Yes, I could see it.
I also can't believe the Giants are 6-1, but here we are. Yeah, I got the Giants. I think Saquon Barkley is going to have his biggest game yet this year. But Geno Smith does really well against man defenses. That's what I was reading online.
How tough it is to play a 12-man.
Yeah, I know, but they run the ball a lot and they do bootlegs. And Daniel Jones runs for 100 yards.
I like Pete Carroll as a coach. I think all of his teams compete hard, even the ones that aren't supposed to be good. And
like this
one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they find a way to win at home. I really do. Geno Smith's been playing pretty good. They're 4-3.
Kenneth Walker's been playing pretty well. The rookie running back out of Michigan State.
Yeah, I like Seattle for sure.
I like the Giants, but we'll see. It should be another good game.
There's a lot of good games this week. That's why there's a lot of close spreads.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Cole, you can take this one for a minute.
Okay. So Green Bay, Buffalo. My heart wants me to pick Green Bay, but my brain is making the correct decision and picking Buffalo. I'd like to believe what Rodgers is saying about them.
What do they got to do to win?
What do we have to do to win? That's a great question.
I think Rodgers has to have an MVP. He has to play like he did when he won MVP to win this game.
He's got to play like 2014 Aaron Rodgers.
Like I think he has to have at least 3 touchdowns to win this game.
Yeah, that to be in it, I would say 4 wins you. Rodgers is probably going to have to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Has he done that yet?
Yeah, he has not thrown for over 300 yards yet this year. And the most he's thrown in a game, touchdowns, is 2. Some problems going into this game, obviously drops. If you've watched any of the Pat McAfee show or other things on Twitter this week, Rodgers has had a lot to say, and rightfully so. I wouldn't say he's playing his best ball either.
Who?
I wouldn't say Rodgers is playing his best ball either.
No.
The Packers had like 8 or 9 drops last Sunday.
I think that's
against
problem.
Washington. Our wide receivers get no separation.
Yeah, but
they
do. What are these catches that they're dropping? If they dropped 8-1, they're obviously creating separation.
One of them was a slant, like the first drive of the game to Lazard, who, well, let me say this, Lazard is not playing this week. Dobbs has looked not that great in a while. The best player in the field on Sunday was Aaron Jones, and he scored 2 touchdowns, but he still didn't even get him enough touches.
So say they go to 3-5.
Oh God.
Which I got an 85% chance. 85% of me thinks they're going 3-5. What are their next couple games?
Well, we got Dallas, we got Detroit.
Hold on. Go one by one.
Not in any particular order.
We gotta know who.
I got who, but I don't have it in a particular order.
All right, hold on.
What I'm saying is next week we do have the Lions. I know that for a fact. We have the Lions next week, and then Detroit. Or I'm sorry, the Lions and then Dallas. And then upcoming, we got the Rams, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Bears, and the Vikings.
My good God. This might be a year that I have a better year of football than you, and it hasn't happened often.
I don't think it's ever happened in our lifetime.
3-5.
You would assume we could beat Detroit, but you don't know.
Yeah, but that's in Detroit. I mean, yeah, I'll give you 4 and 5.
Then you got Dallas.
That's
I
in
think
Green
that's
Bay,
a winnable
though.
game. I wouldn't give it to us though. I
All right.
wouldn't give us any of those 3 games after the Lions.
I'm gonna say 5 and 5. I'm gonna say they're 6 and 5 because I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think that
at home Thursday night against the Titans.
I think that they find a way to beat the Cowboys at home. They find a way to beat the Titans, which, don't get me wrong, the Titans always somehow stay in games because of Derrick Henry, but for some reason scares me. And then
the Eagles are going to dog walk us.
They might still be undefeated.
Yeah, they might.
6 and 6.
That game's in Philly.
So 6 and 6 after that. I think they can beat the Bears in Chicago, but I mean.
So you're looking at 7 and 6.
I'm just saying. I don't.
None of those games are easy.
No, I think that the Bears.
You would have thought going earlier we were going to beat 1, 2, 3, weren't you? You would have thought that. Am I wrong?
Well,
when we were 3-1 heading into that, playing the Giants.
Yeah, what scared me is this game. This is when I was like, okay, what's going on in Green Bay? Because they almost lost the third string quarterback, Bailey Zappi. But anyway, so we got 7 and 6. God, then LA comes to town. I mean, LA. I think they're okay. I got 8 and 6.
And then we play your Dolphins. I mean, I personally believe we could beat the Dolphins. We'll see where the season ends up.
I mean, I don't know are the Dolphins. I mean, we're probably still playing for something that late in the season, but.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to give the Dolphins that win just because of watching both teams right now.
All right, we're at home against the Vikings. It'll be freezing cold on New Year's Day. I'd say the Vikings, to be honest.
I got them going 10 and 7. So I don't think people need to freak out yet. I got them going 10 and 7. But I also could see 7 and 10. All these teams, they don't have it. They don't have Carolina's not coming. Well, I guess you did play the Commanders, but you don't have your easiest games are versus Detroit. Like every other team is a playoff caliber team.
I don't think the Bears are playoff caliber. I don't think we're playoff caliber right now either.
Records show otherwise.
But whenever we play the Bears, we typically win. So maybe that'll continue. With that being said,
but still, that's a pretty hard schedule.
Yeah, and the Bills are favored by double digits the first time in Rodgers' career, and we've never won a game in Buffalo.
That is the biggest spread of the week.
The NFL.
It's the Packers, the biggest spread of the week. I'm going to judge Green Bay off of how they play.
On Sunday?
This record could change at how they play. If they go in there and they get absolutely smoked, I think that record changes. And
what about if they go in there and they win on a last-second field goal?
I just think if they cover the spread. If they just cover the spread, I'll be like, okay, I think Green Bay is legit.
I would actually take Buffalo to cover the spread. I think we're that bad right now, and Buffalo's that good.
Somehow, if the Packers win, they're back. Okay, now, granted, I don't mean winning the division. I
don't think we're gonna win the division.
They're too far. I don't know that they're too. I even think the Dolphins are too far behind in the division. Unless Green Bay can beat Buffalo for us. But I even think the Dolphins are too far behind. But I think they can still get the number 1 wild card spot.
Here's what I have to say. I think our defense has actually played well this year. I think if our offense plays much better, we could be in this game. It's that simple.
If the Packers win.
If the Packers play good offense, the defense will have a lot more time to come out on the field, be a little bit more well-rested. I think it's possible. Josh Allen's going to be running the guys, and we need somebody on the defense.
Given the circumstances of this game and all the implications, you don't want to start out 3 and 5.
Buffalo's coming off a bye.
What I'm saying is, could this be the biggest regular season win in a couple years?
In a couple years, not ever, but yeah, in a couple years.
I don't mean ever. But in the last couple of years, you're 11-point underdogs. You're playing the Super Bowl favorites in Buffalo on Sunday night. The Packers have gotten off to a rough start. The Bills are looking like one of the best teams in the league.
And the Bills score.
You can't tell me this wouldn't be one of the biggest wins regular season wins in the last 2 or 3 years for the
I mean,
Packers.
if the Packers won this game, I would feel amazing for the next week.
Yeah,
I would.
I'd
feel great.
I don't see how they.
I don't see how we win the game.
Well, I'll tell you how they win the game.
They score more points.
They create turnovers.
We did create turnovers against Washington, and we still
you-
lost. Actually, we almost had 2 defensive touchdowns. We still lost that game. But with all that being said, Lazard's out.
So we both got
Watson
Buffalo.
practiced. Yes, we both have Buffalo. Watson practiced today, which if he didn't have all these issues going on, it'd be amazing to see what he could actually do on the football field because he's like 6'3",
Who
and
you
he's
talking
fast. Our rookie, Christian Watson, who's always injured. He's probably going to – I would assume
Wide receiver?
I would assume that he's going to play this week. He's fast, probably not going to be as fast as normal with the hamstring thing going on, but we need him. Lazard's out. You're going to be throwing the ball to, Dobbs, Watkins, and Aaron Jones and Tunyon. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid if I'm the Buffalo Bills defense playing against that. You don't know what's going on with Bakhtiari. Personally, I think the torn ACL he had in 2020 right before the Bucs game in the playoffs, I think that ruined his career. I love the guy. Great guy. Was always great offensive lineman, but something's going on there and it's not good. Yeah, I got Buffalo by a lot, but I hope to God we play well.
I hope to God they win the game.
Yeah,
Packers.
help you out. Yeah,
because the Dolphins would sit 1 game out instead of 2. I also think this is a must-win for the Dolphins.
What?
Yeah.
Well, no, what? Hold on a second. Are you talking about the Dolphins against Detroit? Or are you talking about?
No, I think this is a must-win for the Dolphins if they want to still be considered legit and if they still want to have a chance to win the division. You can't go to 4-4 and then Buffalo can't be 6-1.
Yeah.
Right? Or they'd be 7-1. Right?
Yeah.
What would they be?
Buffalo is 5-1. They just had a bye.
Yeah,
they're coming off the bye. So yeah.
You just wouldn't. You can't go 4-4.
You can't lose to Detroit.
I hate saying that.
But you can't.
Because they're an NFL football team who've looked pretty good this year. But yeah, Miami's better. They need to play like a better team. Because if they go to 4-4, it's just they have an easy middle schedule, but their ending schedule isn't might be a little easier now because some of the teams. But so this is the Dolphins' remaining schedule. At Lions, at Bears, home to Browns, home to Texans. The next 4.
You would assume. I mean, it's a safe. I would say safely 3-1.
I mean, it better be 4-0.
It better be, but I would say safely.
All these teams combined.
Yeah. And then who you got after that?
Then they got
the Niners. I don't know. The Niners are a good team.
and at Chargers.
Both good teams. And then you got Green Bay.
And then
the Bills. Oh God.
So that's what I'm saying. They
We'll see. I think your Dolphins will be all right.
I'm not scared of New England, and that's a home game. And the Dolphins play well at home.
Yeah.
But these 3 games right here scare me. Like they need to go 1-2.
Yeah.
But the Chargers haven't.
The Chargers, they look good in parts. Then they look bad.
I just think
you don't know.
This is the one game I don't think the Dolphins can win. I think they can win every other game.
Yeah.
I don't think they can beat the Bills.
Yeah, probably not. It's gonna probably be cold. Let's get on to Monday Night Football. We got Cincinnati at Cleveland. Big news today. Jamar Chase out 4 to 6 weeks, probably going on the IR. Jake obviously had no idea.
No, I knew it, but I didn't think about it when I was picking.
So he picked Cincy. I picked Cleveland.
Oh,
for God's sakes, it's at Cleveland. Give Nick Chubb the ball. I don't know how hard it is to win a football game.
I'm so sick and tired of Cleveland. I'm just so sick and tired of this football team.
All you got to do is hand the ball off.
For some reason, you're obsessed with this team. Even in recent years, this team.
Well, I used to love him because Baker.
They continue to lose big games at home. I don't see them beating Cincinnati. I hope they beat Cincinnati because it's going to help the Dolphins out record-wise for the playoffs.
I got Cleveland. Cincinnati hasn't.
You're going to tell me you trust what's his
Jacoby Brissett?
I don't.
I trust Kevin Stefanski.
I know Jacoby Brissett. I've watched him play.
Kevin Stefanski has not lost to the Cincinnati Bengals yet in his career, and Cleveland has not lost to Cincinnati since 2019.
Football?
Yes. Look it up. I heard it today. Give me Cleveland.
So even last year when they went to the Super Bowl,
yes,
Cleveland won
beat them
both times?
Yes. Give me Cleveland.
That's 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's what they said today on ESPN. Unless they're wrong, because they're not wrong.
No, they're probably not wrong.
Give me
if that's what you
Cleveland.
heard. I didn't hear that, though. I mean, I didn't get to watch TV, but
Give me Cleveland in probably a 27-24 game. That's what I got. That's my final. That's my final.
Who's going to score 3 touchdowns for Cleveland?
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That's what I got. They're going to be able to move the ball. They always can move the ball. Nick Chubb is amazing, and they just don't give him the ball enough. With all that being said,
I got Cincinnati.
I got Cleveland. Hot topic this week.
Wait, before I forget this, who is in more trouble? Tampa or Green Bay?
Green Bay. Tampa's division's a lot softer, and they're still somehow at the top of the division right now. And they have Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta. I would say them.
So Green Bay,
and they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Akeem Hicks and Julio Jones and Leonard Fournette.
Who Rodgers and Brady? Who both come back or just one next year?
Next year, I think Brady's for sure done.
I just think Rodgers comes back next year. Now, do you think it's to a different team or do you think it's to the Packers?
No, there's no way they trade him. He's due $60 million. I don't know who would trade $60 million on the cap.
I'm gonna tell you what, he's gonna have to demand.
More money?
He's gonna have to demand weapons, and he's gonna have to make sure they spend money, because
draft
if
picks.
you got Rodgers, Hill, and like Waddle, and you give him a tight end like Gesicki, oh my God, I couldn't imagine what he'd put up in Miami.
We'd probably be undefeated right now.
If
we had Hill, Waddle, and Gesicki, we'd be undefeated. Am I wrong? I don't think we would have lost a game this far.
Probably not.
With Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon too.
Maybe you lose to Buffalo, but
but we haven't played that game yet.
To tell you the truth, I think the Dolphins would be.
Without those 3 players, I think the Dolphins
would be 6-1 right now if Tua didn't get hurt.
Oh, I agree.
I think we beat the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. They were in that game with
Cincinnati
with
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but Teddy.
Yeah.
Damn it, got dementia.
So
Teddy Bridgewater, they were in that game, and then they probably beat. I think they definitely beat the Jets. Tua beats the Jets. I don't know about Minnesota. But then again, they were in that Minnesota game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, but I think they're 6. They're definitely 5-2 with Tua. At best 6-1. I don't know if I'd go undefeated, but they could be.
I agree. With all that being said, it's what Kurt Warner said this week.
Kurt Warner.
I'm just saying, found it. Thought I'd bring it up. And honestly, I actually tweeted this on Twitter last week.
They should.
It's about the end of the time for these guys. Definitely
but
Brady should have hung it up last year.
Rodgers still to me is.
I think Rodgers can still play.
He can still move, and to me, he just seems like he wants it a little bit more than Brady. Like when I watch the Bucs and Brady play, it just seems like Brady doesn't want to be there. Which I think personal
that has
reasons
to do with his personal issues.
Yeah, but then what are you doing? Then quit.
That's his fault. Well, you can't quit now. That just look bad.
Well, he can do whatever he wants.
Anybody can do whatever he wants, but he's not going to do that. But yes, I think Brady should hang it up, and I don't think Rodgers should hang it up.
Again?
Rodgers is going to be 39. I want 2 more years out of Rodgers, but I want weapons.
He'll be 39. He just turned 39.
He will be turning 39.
So he'll be 39 next year. The whole football season.
He turns 39 this year. Yes. Next year he'll be 39 and then 40.
I think he needs to retire at 40. I think he goes 1 more year. I think he needs to give it a go. Which I think he will at the end of the day. There's going to be a lot of drama at the end of the season, but anyways, so yeah, we have quite a few different picks. I only have 2 road teams. I have 3 road teams winning. Cole's got about 8.
You've only got 2 road teams. Oh yeah, you got Monday night. I didn't see that.
You got to start going with the home team, bro.
You're 2 games better than me. Wait till the end of this week. Also, last thing before we end today, Kadarius Toney got traded to the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs just pick up fast wide receivers like it's nothing, and it works. And I don't know why other teams aren't copying that. So
who do you got in the World Series?
Well, I'd like the Phillies to win.
Who do you have? Who's gonna win?
Give me the Phillies in 6. No, actually 7. Phillies in 7.
I got Astros in 6. Even though I want
Schwarber and Nick Castellanos.
I absolutely want the Phillies to win, like absolutely 100%. But I just don't.
Yeah. Final thoughts?
Well, Illinois football continues to impress. They didn't play last week. They moved up a spot in the rankings to 17. They got a huge game versus Nebraska this weekend in Lincoln, which is shocking. But can you believe Illinois 7.5-point favorites on the road in Lincoln?
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
So we'll see. Then they come home, and there's the athletic director, Josh Whitman, tweeted that there's 2,000 tickets remaining available of their 62,000,
For what,
seat
the Michigan
arena.
State game?
Yeah, for the Dad's Day.
Yeah, I'll be gone, or else I would have went.
So I think if they beat Nebraska, I think they'll sell out instantly. And I think it's gonna be. I think it can be the first sellout since the North Carolina game, which was in 2016. Winning solves everything. Winning brings people. Winning brings sellout.
Brings money.
It brings national media. Illinois is playing on it. It's NBC or ABC. They're playing on one of the.
It'll be on a televised network.
Yeah. And I think they win. I think this is the best Illinois team I've watched in my lifetime. I didn't get to really watch the 08 team that went to the Rose Bowl or the 07 team. I obviously didn't watch the 02 team that went to the Sugar Bowl. I was too young. This, and what I mean by best team, I mean on all three sides of the ball. They're defensively, statistically, they're the best defensive team in the country. Their defense is all over the place. Offensively, they move the ball with Tommy DeVito. Special teams, this brand new field goal kicker that he didn't start the season. He's been electric. Everything about Illinois football is trending up. And I will say this, even if they lose this football game in Lincoln, they still can win the West. I wouldn't panic, because if you'd have told me they'd have been 6-2 going into
you would have taken it, but now,
10,
but at this point in the season, you expect this to be a win.
They better be, because I'm gonna tell you what, Cole, I think that they're 6-1. If they win and go to 7-1, they come home to play State.
That should be a win.
State's terrible. They're 8-1. Purdue's 5-3. We get Purdue at home, another home game.
That should also be a win.
Illinois should be 9-1, going to play at the Big House versus 9-1 Michigan. Now,
winner of that game goes to the Big Ten championship.
They're in different conference. They're in different. So listen, my question is, if they win their next 3 games, they're ranked 17 now. Where do you think they're at? After
it depends what happens with the other teams.
Okay, but
that are in front of them.
In 3 weeks, some of those teams are going to lose.
I'd say. Well, you're saying if they win their next 3 or 4,
they're sitting at 9-1 going into the Big Ten. You want to know what I think?
Not top 5.
No. I think it's a top.
I'd say 10 or 11.
I think you're sitting at a top 10 matchup at the Big House between Illinois and Michigan. A top 10 matchup, which I've never seen.
That'd be pretty impressive.
I've never seen Illinois in the top
this is
10.
nothing against Illinois, but I would take Michigan.
I'm not.
But yeah, that'd be impressive. No, I don't disagree with you.
I don't. I think people are thinking. I think Illinois can win a national champ. I'm not that big, but this is a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah. It's a good season. It's a great season for them.
9-1, and I don't care that they're playing in the West and they don't play Ohio State or Michigan. In years past, Wisconsin's been dominating. Iowa's been great. So because those teams are bad this year, you're going to discredit Illinois because they're good? That's bullshit.
That.
No. I'm talking in general. A lot of people are saying they're playing in the weak side. Well, people got to remember Illinois wasn't supposed to be good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were supposed to maybe they're already bowl eligible. So even if they go to 9, so say they lose and they go to 9-2, their last game is at Northwestern.
That should be a win.
So you're sitting at 10-2, and you're in the Big Ten championship game versus whoever wins the Ohio State-Michigan game last week of the season's in. Unless Penn State beats Michigan.
I don't see that happening.
Okay. Or no,
Michigan already beat Penn State.
So Penn State must play Ohio State then this week.
Yeah, they do. They do. You're right, because I took the
over.
So
if Penn State beats Ohio State, Penn State gets to jump back in. Then Penn State would need Illinois to win to knock them into the championship.
I see Ohio State winning this weekend.
No, I do too, but I'm just saying if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying whoever wins the Ohio State Michigan goes in. So then Illinois would be 10-2 in the Big Ten championship. So if they lose, they're 10-3. I still think they get the Orange Bowl.
It's good, yeah.
Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, Cotton Bowl.
Well, I don't know. Some of those bowls are in the college football playoff because of the new system. But whatever ones aren't in the college football playoff,
they would get it. They would get a New Year's Six bowl game.
Oh yeah,
at 10-3, losing in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah,
that's what I think is going to happen. I think they win their next 3 games. I think they lose at Michigan, and I think they beat Northwestern, and I think they lose in the Big Ten championship game.
Is the Big Ten championship still played in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
If they make it to the Big Ten championship game and I'm off, I'll go with you.
Well, I'm already there. I'm there in spirit.
All right. Well, if I'm off, I'll go.
So now here's my next question.
You know what? I hope Oklahoma finishes 10-3 and we get to meet you guys in the bowl game because that'd be awesome.
That would be nice.
That'd be awesome. With that being said, I think we're going to win this weekend against Iowa State.
Oh.
At Iowa State, I would have loved to go in the game and seen Coulter, but not going to be able to make it working.
What if? So out of Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan State, what team do you want to avoid? Like Ohio State, right? So you want to play Penn State or Michigan because they're the most beatable. So I will say this: the way Illinois played, if they went into the Big House and their defense is how their defense is played, I'm just saying
it'd be a tremendous test for this Illinois team.
I'm just saying I could see Illinois winning at the Big House. I think they have the better I think Tommy DeVito is the better quarterback.
I disagree.
I think Chase Brown's the better running back.
And I would give Chase Brown a little bit of an upper hand, but I would not say that Tommy DeVito is a better quarterback.
Very arguable and debatable statistical wise this year.
Who's the quarterback right now? Is it J.J. McCarthy?
I just watched the Big Ten video clip. But anyways, and I think the defenses are both solid. Statistically, Illinois is better.
Michigan on paper has better players.
Yeah, they have better players for sure, but
that doesn't always guarantee a win. But I would take Michigan in that place. Mr. Brightside plan, give me Michigan if that's what happens.
But Illinois has to get there.
Well, they're going to get to play Michigan anyways.
They're going to get to play them. But if they're 7-3, it's going to be way different than being 9-1.
Yeah.
To where if Illinois wins, they basically flip flop.
If that happens where they're 9-1 going in that game, that might be a college game day. Like they might go to Michigan.
But what I'm saying is, if we're 10 and Michigan stays at 5, if we win, we flop. We flip flop. Sorry, on the road, we flip flop.
Yeah, it's a big win. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of potential.
There's
for
a lot,
the rest of the year.
But I'm just saying they have to get there. We talked about the Bulls. I haven't really heard much about the Cubs.
Yeah, not much really to say right now.
The Blackhawks have won 4 in a row. I thought they were the worst hockey team in the NHL, and they've now won 4 in a row. And Bleacher Report has them ranked as the 10th best team in hockey. Kind of crazy to me, but I hope they got a game tonight. I hope they can keep it going. I hope fans start going back to the United Center. Attendance has been rough for the first couple besides the home opener. Again, the Bulls are selling out like crazy. I looked yesterday, about 10 minutes before the game, StubHub only had 63 tickets available. That's pretty impressive on a Wednesday night versus a bad team in Indiana. Which, how about Buddy Hield?
He's a good player.
Good.
Ex-Oklahoma guy.
He couldn't fucking miss.
He's a good player. You know how much I love Buddy.
He was lethal from 3.
Why do you think the Lakers want him so bad?
Why don't the Bulls want him? Why don't we get a shooter like that? I understand Zach is a shooter like that, but I don't think Zach can make 6 threes in a row. Buddy Hield did yesterday. He made like 4 in a row. I think Zach
Buddy's shooting well over 40% in his career.
He's a lights out shooter.
And since he entered the league, I think the only person him and Curry right there, they're 1 and 2
I'm
in threes.
Just telling you,
it's him and Curry.
I think this Bulls team is better than they were last year. I think.
Well, maybe we'll make a move at the deadline and get Buddy.
I think that when they play through Vooch, and Vooch can distribute, and they're not in Vooch, like if they play through Vooch, they're good. When he gets to distribute, like last night, he made the right decisions. Like it's when he sits at the fucking 3-point line, dude, and he just shoots threes. That's when this team gets in trouble.
Now, let me say this: Vucevic, he is a good player. Sometimes you question what he does.
Yeah, because he does. Sometimes he doesn't want it, and it's like if they want to be one of the best teams in the league, he's got to want it every game. Sometimes
they all got to want him, but it's got to be hard.
It every game.
Yeah.
I'm just I think this team is the reason I like this team better is because I think their second unit, the guys coming off the bench, is way better than last year.
Well, yeah, it is.
You bring how good has Derrick Jones Jr. been these last 2 games? He didn't even play the first 3 or 4 games. It's almost like, how did he not play? Javonte Green, did you see some of the dunks last night?
No, I didn't.
Dragic, I think, threw an alley-oop that was 4 feet taller than the basket, and Javonte went and boogie whipped it down. And Drummond, the same thing. I don't know.
I did. Oh, Drummond had a bunch of alley-oops.
Drummond had one that he like you got Dragic, you got Drummond, you got Jones Jr., you got Javonte Green, you got Kobe White. Who else?
Is Caruso coming off the bench?
You got Caruso. This team is lethal coming off the bench. And sometimes their second unit plays better.
Yeah.
Because they defend.
Caruso had a really nice play the other night where he dove for a loose ball, turned it over, got back on defense, got a block. I don't know if they listed as a block or steal, but he got a block, and then he brought it up the floor, and I'm pretty sure he lobbed it up to Drummond on the other end. So it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think this is a better team than last year. I think if they met like Milwaukee in a series,
I'm still taking Milwaukee.
I'm still taking Milwaukee, but the Bulls are going to play better than they did last year. And I tell you what, 1 through 10, the Bulls might have a better roster than Milwaukee right now. 1 through 10, they don't mean they have a better. That don't mean they have. Yeah, Giannis is a superstar. I get that, but 1 through 10, they might have a better roster this year.
I would take.
And how good's Philly? Philly's been awful.
Yeah, Philly's been awful.
Last year, the Bulls couldn't beat them.
Well, they talked this year, or they were talking today.
You know what? Here's a good test for the Bulls. We play San Antonio tomorrow, and then we play Philly Saturday.
Should be wins.
Philly is a team that dominated you last year. That can't happen again.
We'll see what happens. Philly needs some wins.
But I think the Bulls are better. That don't mean I don't think the Bulls could go 0-2 this week, back-to-back. San Antonio just put up 124 points. They could go 0-2, but I still think in the long run, I think this team's better than last year. I think they're like a 3 or 4 seed, and last year they were a 6, so they're better. But I think that's all we got for you.
That's all we got for today. We'll be back again next week, make our picks, and talk some more about the NBA, college, and the NFL. I hope everybody liked the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll try to do a live sometime in the near future. Everybody enjoy Thursday Night Football.